Well, hello, my passport friends. How are you guys doing? You gals doing? We're going to work on this photo today. I think we're going to have a fun time with this one. This is kind of the before, let's call it the before. There's a little asterisk to that, which you'll find out. I was just down in Fiji, this amazing island called La Cala. It's the private island of the guy that owns Red Bull. And he put some villas on there. I'll tell you more about it later, but it was just beautiful. I think this is going to be a good one to work on for a variety of reasons. I think you're going to see me do something here that you haven't seen me do before, okay? And also, this is something I've been experimenting with, and I think it's quite interesting, okay? Now, where do I start? Okay, so this picture that you saw, this is taken with the Mavic 2 Pro. Okay, this is a single shot, and that's kind of my framing, okay? Now, some of you might know that one of the features of this thing is it can zoom in and take 9 photos in a 3x3 grid, right? So it kind of zooms in first, and it goes up, and then it goes down, and then turns to the right, goes down, medium, high, and then it goes over to the left side, goes high, medium, low, okay? So what I did with those is I highlighted all of them, and I did right-click Photo Merge Panorama, okay? Now this turns away for a second. And of course, the reason that you want to do this is because it gives you a super high-res image, right? Look how fast it is. Good job, Lightroom. Note, I normally don't say good things about Lightroom, but in this case I do. And I almost always take this boundary warp and I move it all the way to the top because it makes it taller, right? Kind of like a little taller. Then I would click merge. I won't do that because it came pre-merged down here. Okay, I've already merged it. So let's compare the sizes. This is the single shot, okay, which is 4,000 pixels across by 3,000 pixels. The merged one is 9,000 pixels, people, by 5,600. So just enormous, right? Then here's the tricky thing that I did a bit different. And we're going to work through this on Aurora together. Is I went ahead and made a few adjustments here. Okay, I brought down the shadows, or the highlights, and brought down the whites, and I pulled up the shadows a little bit, right? Because by default, now I think Aurora could have pulled all this stuff out, but I just wanted to go ahead and make a few adjustments in here anyway, right? Because I export it as a TIFF and not as a RAW. See how it's kind of blown out around that tree up there? So if I bring down the highlights, I can make sure it's not blown out, all right? And then what I did is I have a preset where I export it as a TIFF. I say Aurora TIFF. What it does is it goes to this directory called Aurora Me, right here, Aurora Me. So I've got all the stuff in here I need to Aurora. And here it is. So here it is as a TIFF file, okay? So now let's bring it into Aurora here, okay? Looking good. Let's say create HDR. And I would say I did this with about 10 to 15 shots there on the island. Because, you know, honestly, these files come out higher res than my Sony, which is kind of mind-numbing. Coffee. My daughter just brought me some bacon. So I just had bacon, fresh coffee in the morning, and Aurora HDR. What else does a guy need? Or what else does a girl need? 3 things. 3 things. 3 legs on the stool. Yeah, so the thing that Sony does better, of course, is it can do depth of field. But if you're shooting landscapes, which this is, which is mostly what I shoot, there's no difference because you're focused at infinity. It looks the same. I mean, the optics look the same. The difference, of course, is that you can get up 50 feet, right? Here I'm up about 30 or 40 feet, but you just can't get this angle from the ground. I mean, this maybe seems obvious when I say that, but it's just a better angle. You're tilted down a little bit. By the way, this is like this cool, let me zoom in here, show you a little bit more what's going on. This is this cool kind of restaurant bar down there. All kinds of comfy cushions, all sorts of stuff. Okay, let's do fit to screen. Now, yeah, there's really not much adjustment that needs to be done to this. Remember, as it's brought into Aurora, it's already, because they're pre-cooked. I mean, look at the difference that Aurora's done. Look at that. What a program. I know that sounds a little self-congratulatory because I made it with Skylum, but you know, I actually give them all credit. There's a lot of engineering involved. I just would give advice when things don't work. All right, guys, let's fix this. Let's fix that. So I do kind of tweak them a little bit. Okay, so let's look at this and see what we don't like. I'm finding these leaves to be a little bit less green. They're reading a little more gray, a little ashen. So let's make them a little warmer. So let's do a little warmth adjustment here. And then let's go to image radiance, pull up the shadows and the warmth there. See how green the leaves are now? So I hit B for my brush, and I'll just start kind of brushing in on the leaves. A little sloppy, you know, nothing wrong with sloppy. Put that. Like even like sloppy seconds has a good connotation for some reason, right? There should be another word other than sloppy for this kind of close-up work. Oh, didn't want to do that. Undo. Cool. So now the palm trees look better. And now I'll do like, I think, let's make it a little bit more. Now you kind of make the decision like, do we really want HDR with the sky? Maybe. Let's try it. Let's do HDR clarity. And let's get the denoise on. Because this is how you really make it more HDR-ish. Clarity, smart structure, maybe. Yeah, a little bit. Cool. Combine that with image radiance because I like a little bit of glow in the sky. Good. Not too much though. So here I'm going to go about 100%. 100. And then I'll drop down the opacity to, because I don't want to be too extreme over the trees. Because when it's too extreme over the trees, you do get a little bit of a weird glow to it, you know. Done. Now let's make the pool extra glowy, extra reflective. The way to do that is through image radiance, pull up the shadows, and then increase the vibrance to make it even more blue here. Oh, and it makes that little purple, look at that nice little purple right by the beach. B, let's get the opacity back up to 100. Yeah, just kind of paint across the water here. Look at that. It's an outrageous kind of photo, isn't it? But I like it. I like it a lot. So this is kind of the before. Not really the before, right? Because we made some adjustments in Lightroom, but then the after just really pops. All right, you guys. I hope you like this one. I love it. I love it. I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to post this photo again along with a few others that I took there, so you can kind of see this style that I'm getting. And pretty much every aerial photo that you see coming out of this island is taken with this method. Okay, as you can see, it doesn't take very long. You know, you think like, oh, it's going to take so much more work. It doesn't take any more work. It takes a little more work, but it's totally worth it in the end. Anyway, to end by telling you about this place, I know the general manager there, so he's nice enough to invite me to come take some photos. I usually don't do paid work like this, but I like him a lot, and it sounded like a cool place. I was like, sign me up. It's quite expensive. Just the landing fee there on this private island is $14,000. Come on a plane by yourself, private plane, or with your spouse or friends or whatever. And then the rooms there, they only have 20 villas, and I think 25. And they range in price from $5,000 a night, like up to $40,000 or $50,000 a night, with a certain number of nights, minimum. So it's a pretty high-end place, and they have this team of like 400 people, the nicest Fijians you ever met. They totally take care of you. Man, it was a wonderful experience. I'm very grateful. And I think I'm going to go back. I'm going to take my whole team, and we're going to do more videos, more photos. I want to get some night photos and that sort of thing. So I'm excited to return. And hopefully, like, one good thing about these things is that I have some spare time, and I can experiment on my photography, do some weird stuff like this, and hopefully bring it back to you guys. All right. Love you guys. Passport members, you're the best. And I will talk to you later. See you next time. Bye.